Javier Milei, I don't know how to pronounce it, M-I-L-E-I. Milei? Anyhow, he's the leading candidate right now for Argentina's presidential election, which is coming up shortly. And he's a far-right libertarian economist. His big thing that gets most of the publicity is that he wants to dump the Argentine peso, which has lost more than half its value in the last year, and replace it with the U.S. dollar. But he's a libertarian. He wants to do away with the national health care system. He wants to do away with their social security system. He wants to privatize their schools. He wants to do all that stuff, you know, that libertarians like to do. And he is, you know, everybody thought, okay, it looks like this is going to be the guy who's going to win. But now two groups have come out against him, and they are turning the country against this guy. The first are fans of Taylor Swift, the Swifties. They have organized themselves in Argentina. She's going down to Argentina, I guess this week or next, for the first concert in her Outside the U.S. Eras tour. And this group of Argentine fans has issued a news release calling on their fellow Swift fans to vote against this guy, against Mr. Milei. In fact, this is one of the statements. They said, "We cannot not fight after having heard and seen Taylor give everything so that the right doesn't win in her country. As Taylor says, we have to be on the right side of history." And that was viewed 1.5 million times on Twitter before. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Taylor Swift fans said, no, we don't want the right-wing libertarian. Elon Musk calls himself a libertarian, right? No, we don't want the right-wing libertarian. They publish it on Twitter or on X. It's viewed 1.5 million times, and then, without any explanation, Twitter or X, or whatever you want to call it, suspends the group's account. Sorry, nobody's going to see your account anymore. Yeah. They're particularly upset with him, his support for loosening gun laws. He wants to privatize public education. He wants to privatize public health. He is opposed to legal abortion. He wants to outlaw abortion. And he has criticized feminism and claimed that the atrocities committed by Argentina's military dictatorship from '76 to '83, where they murdered thousands of people, were simply excesses. They weren't crimes. Now he's also getting criticism from legions of loyal fans from another musical juggernaut. This is the K-pop band BTS. They become known as the BTS Army. Now keep in mind, these are the people who punked Donald Trump, 2 years ago, I think it was, 2020, 3 years ago, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was going to have a big rally, and very few people showed up. And it turned out that it was the BTS fans who had gone online and bought up all the tickets. I guess the tickets were free. And so, you know, there weren't tickets available for other people. So I guess the Trump people have figured out a way around that. But now these far-right governments, they're starting to pop up all over the country, or all over the world, rather. And now, finally, we're starting to see some really serious pushback. We're seeing the same thing in Brazil, by the way. In Brazil, they're cracking down on neo-Nazis. Brazilian authorities, there's a group of neo-Nazis called the Hammerskins that were founded in Dallas back in 1988, and they have now opened a branch down in Brazil. And the police hate crimes unit is on them. And on the members' phone, they arrested a bunch of them, and on their phones they found anti-Semitic and racist content, including a message that one had sent in a group chat that, quote, "Black people need to die every day," end quote. There were 2 American Hammerskin members who had traveled to Brazil several times to help these guys out. And they're having an impact, the Hammerskins, this right-wing white supremacist militia group, cult, whatever you want to call them. There have been a number of school shootings and stabbing attacks. There have been at least 11 of them so far this year, committed by members of this group or people who align themselves with them. In February, a 17-year-old boy wearing a swastika armband was accused of throwing 2 homemade explosive devices into his school. In March, authorities said a 13-year-old boy fatally stabbed a teacher while wearing the skull mask commonly worn by American neo-Nazi groups. Last month, a 16-year-old boy was accused of firing at a school, killing a classmate and wounding 2 others. The teenager had previously posted a photo of a swastika drawn on his own face. The authorities say they have thwarted literally hundreds of other attacks by this group and people associated with them. The group appears to have a connection to Jair Bolsonaro, the Donald Trump of Brazil, even though he's no longer the president. In 2020, his Secretary of Culture was forced to step down after he gave a speech that was plagiarized from, and I'm not making this up, this is like he made a speech that was plagiarized from Joseph Goebbels. He had to step down because he was busted. This is Jair Bolsonaro's right-hand man, had to step down because a speech he gave was plagiarized from Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister in World War II. So now you've got, I mean, they've got a lefty president now, you know, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, and he's not taking a lying down. He's going after these guys, and you know, God bless him. You know, Brazil needs it.